new methodology for software management. Generally, in software management, there's two main lines on the spectrum to measure it. It's more descriptive or more adaptive. More descriptive means it has description for every single step you did in your software engineering process. Things like that we can, like IUV, Rational Unified Process from IBM, or like MSF for Agile from Microsoft. These guys have like more than 120 plus steps for describing every single step you need to do in your software lifecycle development. And once you go down to the spectrum, you can see stuff like XP, which have only 12 steps describing what you need to do in order to develop software. And then you find something like Scrum, and then you find something like famous Japanese Kanban. This is like 8 steps only for describing your software. Kanban is just 3 steps for describing your stuff. And then the gangbang project, do whatever you want, and this is nothing at all. You have no, and a lot of companies work with this, project. Just everybody doing whatever he wants, and usually they fail. And anyway, Agile software methodologies have been proven that it's very successful and way to deliver successful and productive software in a very short amount of time with very less amount of bugs and error. It's quick and easy to reach the market. And from Agile, as I told you, there's a lot of softwares. These all are Agile software practices. And from this market, Scrum dominating 49% and XP dominating only 8%. And XP plus Scrum dominating 22%. And there's other stuff, we just don't care about it. So a lot of guys just trying to use Scrum with XP. Out of companies used to try to use both of them together to apply in software projects. That's because XP actually focus more on the software development practices, and Scrum focus more on the management side of the project. And together you can cover almost most of the software lifecycle development by having the management side and software practices side. XP actually having a couple of practices, very good practices. You don't have to use all of them in order to say I'm using XP. It's more flexible than Scrum. Scrum you have only 8 and Kanban has only 3. That's why they require that you use all the three rules that they prescribe, or the 8 rules that prescribe. Because it's just 8. But the XP, it's more flexible. You don't have to apply all the steps and all the techniques and the artifacts they're providing in order to say I'm extreme programming. I used to just use pair programming and test-driven development, and my company used to say we are extreme programmers guys, because we're doing some practices from extreme programming. They offer a lot of good stuff. I think my friends talk about that, like test-driven development. You start by writing your own test. It's the whole way opposite, They reverse the whole way of development. Instead of writing your code and then writing the test, you start writing the test and then writing the code, because actually one good practice for software developer is try to imagine how your client, how your code user or the client of your code will use your code. And you're going to do that by writing the test. So if you start writing the test and then develop the code, fix the bug, and then go again. It's very sweet and neat cycle, and quickly you can find and fix your bugs by writing the test. It's a little bit hard to start with this technique. It will take you like 2 or 3 months until you adapt to it, but it's very effective after that. Something like pair programming also one of the very impressive techniques that XP Extreme Programming suggested at the beginning, which required that 2 guys develop together. One of them writing the code and the other guy just sitting near him, observing what he's doing, and all the time he's correcting him. Do that, fix that, you should do that. So it's actually 2 minds thinking about the process think about writing code, rows of writing code, rather than one line, which is very effective from the business wise perspective. It could be more cost to the company to just having two guys working in the same code batch rather than just one guy is writing this code. But it turns out that it's less cost actually and more effective. Two guys working the same code mean less tester time, and as all of us know that testers are 50% of software development life cycle, and a lot of guys think that tester is just less than 50%. Actually, all the studies show that tester is more than 50%, tester work I mean, more than 50% of the software development life cycle. They are involved from the very beginning steps of developing the software, from writing unit test until writing acceptance test with the customer, functional test, non-functional test, finding a way to enhance the whole software development life cycle, and find a way to tune the company performance. They are involved in a lot of aspects during the whole software development life cycle. That's why XB using pair programming to reduce as much as possible the cost for testing, which is a good technique, by the way. And frankly, you will find it very fun to have somebody sitting with you and thinking about the code together and writing the code together. And I think it's a natural technique. Most of the people love to code together instead of just coding by themselves. I mean, there's some kind of code of genius and like to code by themselves. And there's other techniques in the rules. I don't want to go because I have only 2 minutes. I think I already used them. There are a lot of other good techniques like planning. Okay.